Right edition, welcome and happy day. Hey, go to e-news on our website, www.rightedition.com. At the very top of our website, there's an icon that says e-news. Hit that and go to it. And the latest e-news is a link to the website of NRA Sports, their magazine, NRA Sports Magazine. We are in this. We're on page 15. Thank you very much to all of our friends at the NRA, Ted Nugent and everybody else. See you in Vegas, Ted. And want you to know that about 1 million sets of eyes will be looking at that in their magazine, so that's kind of cool. Background checks for gun ownership is mandatory. Politicians, no background checks required. Hey, who would have thunk that? Obama, he got to be president of the world's largest economy and directs the world's most powerful military. He was given a pass. He was held to a lower standard because of the color of his skin, and that's from a columnist out of this week's Newsweek magazine. Kind of strong stuff, but a lot there to think about. Hey, kind of does tell the story. 1986, when he was president, Ronald Reagan, he said Libya killed Americans, so he bombed their leader's house, and Libya was quiet for 25 years, and then somebody apologized. Hey, what's happening there today? Kind of going back to Obama. The Motion Picture Association of America says that California needs a new and improved film tax credit to prevent more productions from leaving the state. They say to further damage the state's finances and break the taxpayer and make rich socialists out of all the movie stars. That's what I say, and what they say, of course, is we need help. Why? I mean, why not just cut spending in governments? These darn tax things and credits that they continue to give out, and particularly when you see movie stars saying, you know, get rid of the Second Amendment, and I'm a socialist, and oh, by the way, I make $25 million a movie, and you know what? It's grating, and it's not very nice. Ronald Reagan, back to him again just briefly, when he was president of the Motion Picture Association, he said that then. He says, what's going on here, all of you call me guys? And he tried to clean it up, and he did. I think somebody like him needs to go back in there and do it again. Government, particularly in California, get rid of all of that crazy spending that you do, liberalization of everything everywhere you look. There's another liberal out there with more money going out, and then they have the audacity to say, hey, all the citizenry should pay for us to be socialists, because that's how they think, if you really call that thinking. Canada, they have an NDP party there, or a socialist party, that's called the NDP, New Democratic Party, and the candidate there for the soon-to-be by-election in Toronto is a commie. Her name is Linda McQuaig, and she's a journalist. Of course she is. And she highlights the issue of income inequality and supports a tax hike on the rich of, are you ready, 70%. That would be 70. Income equality, rating inequality is more like it's just 70% less brain power than a rock. Good grief. And then you got Comrade McClary, he's the leader of that party, and he says this, he says, you know what, there will be no increase. We will not tax the rich. Of course, he's hoping that he'll get votes from people, right? So he's trying to do some damage control. And then he goes on to say, and he wrecks everything, he says this, that she's an extraordinary candidate. Duh, I don't agree with her. She's totally wrong, but she's extraordinary. That's kind of not very extraordinary that he would say things like that, because again, he's trying to get elected. He's a politician. Wow. He gets a big paycheck and a pension forever and ever, and a check and a shirt every time he looks around or moves, and he's talking like that, because they will put big taxes on the rich if, in fact, they ever got elected. I hope the people don't go there. See, I'm all choked up now. See what that does to me? Switzerland, they got commies there, let me tell you. And now they have a petition that's going around, and they're saying this. More than 100,000 residents so far have signed this petition, and they're demanding that the government ensure a minimum monthly income of almost $2,800 for all adults in the country. All adults. Where do they think the money comes from? That's one thing I've just never understood. And 120,000 signatures are enough to formally call a vote, so they're very close. Probably they will have a vote soon. And for example, on the 24th of November, like that's a month from now, the country, Switzerland, will vote on a separate measure that would limit executive pay to the same amount paid to the company's lowest paid staff member. think that one through. And that's got support, of course, from the socialist government in Switzerland. And here's another one. They have this safety net. I mean, this is going to have a disastrous effect. That safety net, that's just dumb. It's going to have a terrible effect on the whole economy. You got companies saying, if that happens, we're moving. We're going to go to other countries. Now you got Nestle's and a lot of big corporations in Switzerland, and they're saying, we're not going to do this anymore. You guys smarten up. But they don't seem to be smartening up. We'll see what happens. Let me end today on a lighter note. At an Irish wedding reception, the DJ yelled, "Would all married men please stand beside the one person who has made your life worth living?" The bartender was almost crushed to death. I'll come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.